Deep in the limestone caves of New Zealand's North Island, something is hunting the light, seeking out the very creatures whose blue-green glow has made these caves world famous. Every night, in the darkness above the tourist boats and beneath a glowing ceiling, a long-legged arachnid called Ungoliant photophaga picks its way across the cave ceiling and eats the light. Its scientific name says it all: photo meaning light and phaga meaning eater, and Ungoliant, the light-devouring spider demon from J.R.R. Tolkien's Silmarillion. Before the hunter, let's talk about the prey. The New Zealand glowworm, Arachnicampa luminosa, is a strange creature. It isn't related to other glowworms, which are beetles. It is the larva of a small fungus gnat. Where most fungus gnats contentedly eat mushrooms, Arachnicantha luminosa is a carnivore, and it builds elaborate traps to catch its meals. Each larva constructs a silken nest on the cave ceiling and hangs from it a curtain of sticky threads coated in mucus droplets. Dozens of wet snares it can refract its light in. The glow is a lure produced by a chemical reaction. The glowworm's light attracts small flying insects towards the ceiling, where they blunder into the sticky threads and are hauled up by the larva, immobilized and consumed. Now for Ungoliant photophaga. It is a harvestman, not a spider. Harvestmen, or Apilianes, sometimes called daddy longlegs, are distinguished by the fact that their body is fused into a single oval unit, rather than a two-part structure like spiders. They also lack any venom glands. Ungoliant photophaga belongs to the family Neopilionidae, a group particularly well represented in New Zealand, which has evolved into a unique array of forms in the island's forests and caves, and it's one of 4 species in its genus, only found in New Zealand. Ungoliant measures between 3 and 6 millimeters in body length, roughly the size of a large grain of rice, but its legs stretch to around 25 millimeters, giving it a wide, delicate stance that distributes its weight across the cave ceiling as it moves. Its body is brown, sometimes with pale yellow stripes or spots. It is a predator equipped to do what almost nothing else in the cave can manage: hunt glowworms directly without getting caught in the silken nets. The glowworm's silk threads are coated in sticky mucus specifically evolved to catch and hold flying insects. Spiders that wander too close get stuck. Ungoliant photophaga's secret may lie in its pedipalps, the pair of appendages flanking the harvestman's mouth that function in feeding and sensory detection. The pedipalps are covered in plumosetae, fine, feathery hairs whose properties may allow the harvestman to interact with the silk threads in a controlled way, touching without sticking. The details are not fully understood, but the result is the harvestman can casually walk through the traps. The males of this species carry another obviously strange feature: their giant chelicerae. In harvestmen, chelicerae are the paired mouthpart appendages used primarily for manipulating and processing food. In most Apilianes, they are formed as small pincers. In Ungoliant, the male's chelicerae are dramatically enlarged and armed with rows of large, tooth-like projections called denticles. Hypertrophied to a degree rarely seen in other harvestmen, each segment of the chelicerae are individually longer than the entire male's body. In related species, these males use the enlarged chelicerae in direct physical combat with rival males. The fighting begins as a ritual. Opponents unfold and extend their chelicerae, waving them rapidly at each other. If neither male backs down, the contest escalates. The two animals clash together, grappling and grabbing, until one decides the cost outweighs the potential reward and retreats. The pincers in these battles are used to grab and pin the opponent. When Ungoliant photophaga was formally described in 2014 by researchers Christopher Taylor and Anna Probert, each specimen collected was male. This is not because the females don't exist, but because the sexual dimorphism of the harvestmen is so extreme that males and females can't be easily matched up. For much of the genus's taxonomic history, Females were either misidentified or simply not recognized as belonging to the same species as the males next to them. It is a recurring problem in neopilionids, where the dramatic disparity between males and females has repeatedly confused species counts and distribution records. Against threats, Ungoliant, like many other Apiliones, employ a stupid defense. They play dead. When disturbed, they drop from whatever surface they are climbing on to the ground, with all legs extended rigidly outward and lie completely motionless. It works on predators that respond primarily to movement, turning an active leggy arachnid into an uninteresting object. They also practice autotomy, the deliberate shedding of legs, which can be severed at a predetermined weak point between the trochanter and femur when seized by a predator. The leg wriggles independently for a moment, distracting the attacker while the harvestman escapes. To find Ungoliant photophaga, you would require a cave visit to the Waitomo region, good eyes, and patience. You would need to look up past the tourist boat rides, past the glowing larvae, into the dark margin of the cave walls. There on the rocks, moving carefully between the webs, you might find a brown striped arachnid the size of a grain of rice, with legs long enough to stride across your fingers, picking its way towards a glowing larva hanging in a curtain of silk.